Beyond the screens, past the pings, and deeper than the noise of today, there is a frequency that never fades. It is the sound of a voice telling a truth that was true 1,000 years ago and will be true 1,000 years from now. These are the narratives that shaped civilizations, the legends that whispered to our ancestors, and the stories that still live inside us, waiting to be woken up. In a world that moves too fast, we are taking a moment to sit still, to breathe, to co create a world using nothing but the air between us and the power of your imagination. I, Rashmi Shetty, am your host, and this is Once Upon a Time Stories that have stood the test of time. Let's begin. Welcome to the first story in Once Upon a Time. Today's story has a huge connect to the Mahabharata, an epic that India is super proud of, written more than 5,000 years ago. And the story we are going to listen to today is that of Shakuntala. Shakuntala was born of a celestial union. Her father was the great sage Vishwamitra, and her mother, Menaka, an Apsara sent by Lord Indra to break Vishwamitra's intense penance. After Shakuntala's birth, Menaka abandoned the infant and returned to the heavens. The baby was found and raised by Rishi Kanva in his hermitage in the forest. When he found her, she was surrounded and protected by birds, the Shakuntas, and that's where her very name, Shakuntala, which means one cared for by birds. Shakuntala grew up to be a very beautiful maiden. One day, King Dushyanta of the Puru dynasty was hunting in the forest and he arrived at Rishi Kanva's ashram. It was there that he saw the now young woman of extraordinary beauty and grace, Shakuntala. The two fell deeply in love. Since Rishi Kanva was away, they got married in the Gandharva marriage, a form of union based purely on mutual love and consent without any kind of ritual or witnesses. Before leaving to return to his kingdom, King Dushyanta gave Shakuntala his royal ring as a token of his identity and promise that he would send for her. Shakuntala was so lost in thoughts of Dushyanta, who had now gone for long, that she failed to notice so many things happening around her. One day, the angry sage Durvasa arrived at the ashram and was expecting hospitality. However, he was ignored. Angered, Rishi Durvasa cursed Shakuntala. The person she was dreaming about, he said, would forget her completely. Another sage present there pleaded for his mercy, and Rishi Durvasa softened the curse. The memory would return if Shakuntala could show the beloved a personal token that he had given her, he said. But then she still had King Dushyanta's ring, so all would be well. Shakuntala set out for the king's court, now pregnant with his child. While crossing a river, the ring slipped from her finger into the water and was swallowed by a fish. But Shakuntala did not realize it, as she was lost and excited at the same time. When she arrived at the royal court and presented herself before King Dushyanta, he looked at her with blank eyes. Under the power of the curse, he remembered nothing. No hermitage, no love, no marriage. Humiliated and heartbroken, Shakuntala was rejected. Her own mother, Menaka, taking pity, whisked her away to a celestial grove where she gave birth to her son, who she named Bharata. Sometime later, a fisherman brought a big fish to the royal kitchen. Inside its belly, the cooks found a glittering ring, King Dushyanta's royal signet. The moment the ring was placed in his hands, All the memory came back for the king. Overcome with grief and guilt, King Dushyanta desperately searched for Shakuntala but could not find her. Years passed, and on a journey to the heavens to assist the gods in battle, King Dushyanta passed through a celestial hermitage and saw a remarkable boy, fearless and strong, playing with lions as though they were his pets. This boy was Bharata. King Dushyanta got in conversation with him, and soon he introduced the king to his mother. And his mother was none other than Shakuntala. Shakuntala and King Dushyanta were finally reunited. He acknowledged her as his queen and Bharata as his heir to the throne. Bharata grew up to become one of the greatest emperors of ancient India. It is from him, it is said, that this land takes one of its oldest names, Bharatavarsha, or simply Bharat, the name India still carries in its own languages today. This story comes from the Adi Parva of the Mahabharata and was later immortalized by poet Kalidasa in his celebrated Sanskrit play Abhignana Shakuntalam, the recognition of Shakuntala. It is considered one of the greatest works in the world of literature. Kalidasa's version emphasizes and beautifully conveys romance, nature, and the poignant pain of separation, making it one of the most timeless classics in world literature. With that, we complete our journey for today. I hope you enjoyed stepping into this story as much as I enjoyed telling it. But remember, a story only lives when it is shared. If these words touched you, please pass them on. Share this episode with someone who might need a moment of wonder today. In a digital world that can sometimes feel a little lonely, let this story be a beacon of smiles and a steady light of hope in your pocket. Let's catch up soon to listen to what happened once upon a time.